So a while back, a friend of mine was talking about getting the Tonex pedal, and he told me all about the features of it, and it sounded pretty cool. But I really had no interest at the time to get myself one. He ended up going a different direction, and I kind of forgot about it for a while. And then the more I got into USB recording, the more I wanted something that I could just kind of throw in my laptop bag and record anywhere if I wanted to. And I remembered the Tonex pedal. So I got a Tonex 1. I wanted the big unit, but that thing's like $400 and I just couldn't afford it at the time. And I found this in Pro Audio Star for open box 139. After tax, I think I paid 150 and the box was still factory sealed. So a killer deal. A few days later, it arrived and I haven't really touched any other multi-effects processor since. Now this is strictly a review video, not a tutorial. But if you have any questions, leave them down in the comments and I'll try my best to answer them. Now the Tonex 1 is the size of your typical mini pedal and it has 4 knobs up top. You have 3 knobs to adjust your parameters here. I'll explain those in just a second. Then you have a volume and gain. You got a foot switch. On the side you got a 1/4 inch in, 1/4 inch out, 9-volt negative center up top, your typical one, and a USB-C on bottom. Now you can power this just straight from USB-C from your computer, but if you're doing a firmware update, they highly suggest that you plug it into a 9-volt source because sometimes the pedal will power cycle while it's doing the firmware update. And if it's not plugged into a 9-volt and it power cycles, you could possibly brick it. Along with the pedal, you get all sorts of software for free. You'll have to install the IK Multimedia Product Manager, sign up, register your pedal, and once your pedal is registered, then you can take advantage of the Tonex Editor, Amplitude SE, and the standalone Tonex SE software, which you can also use as a VST plugin with your DAW. And you don't even have to plug this thing in to have all the access to all those presets that you can just run through a dry DI channel and use for recording. It's fantastic. Like any new software, it takes a little time to learn, but once you do, it's fairly easy to get around and there are a lot of tutorials out there. But if you don't want to use the software and you only want to use the stock preset factory settings, they sound great too. You have 2 modes. Dual mode, switching between the A and B channel, and stomp box mode, where you can use it as a standalone drive pedal. When using it in dual mode, you can make adjustments to the EQ with the knobs, and if you want to adjust the gate, gain, compression, or reverb, you press this little Alt button, and you can make those changes with these knobs as well. You can also make those changes when it's in stomp box mode. Now just remember, the Tonex pedal will automatically save changes a couple seconds after you make them. So if you make changes and you don't like them, you better remember where you had them before. Because I don't think there's a revert to the last save button within the Tonex editor. I may be wrong, but I haven't seen it yet. In browse mode, you can cycle through each channel and browse to the presets with the knobs. If you want to have 3 presets available, you can set the pedal to browse mode and then set the stomp channel to another amp and just use the foot switch to cycle through all 3 channels. In global settings, you can turn off the cab sim for all channels if you want to run it through an amp or power amp in. And here's where you also change the pedal to stomp box mode and adjust your input trim. To enter into global settings, hold the Alt button for about 6 seconds and you'll see the light change colors to either green or red depending on what your global settings are at the time. It also has a safe mode where you hold the Alt button for a few seconds and you'll see the lights blink. Let it go and it's now in safe mode and no settings can be accidentally changed. To turn it off, you just do the same. Hold it for another 3 seconds, it'll blink, you're good. Now that we've covered the basics, let's make some noise. As you saw and heard, this thing has a lot of great sounds and possibilities. My favorite amps are the ENGLs, the Clean Numble, and the Jazz Chorus, which sounds absolutely beautiful. But I'm sure I'll probably find some more as I go along. I mean, you've got Marshalls, you've got PVs, ENGLs, Fenders, you got all sorts of amps packed right into this thing. Now you got 3 different pieces of software you can use with this thing, and it can be a little overwhelming, but my go-to channel for everything learning Tonex is Jason Sadites. Jason, I'm sorry if you watch this. I'm probably butchering your name, but I'm going to link back to your website because Jason is the Tonex guru. He has a ton of Tonex videos on his channel, and I've learned quite a bit from his channel in just the short time that I've had this thing. If you have problems connecting to the ToneNet, make sure you're logged into the IK Product Manager and the ToneNet website. And if you still can't connect, check your firewall settings and ensure that your host file in your Etsy folder is not blocking any IK websites. If you know, you know. So the Tonex has just about everything that I wanted in it except one thing. It only has an output after the amp, so you can't run a dry and wet signal in parallel when recording. In my research, I must have misread something because I was thinking that it actually did have that, but it's not a deal breaker because the amps coming out of this thing are recording worthy already. Now, if you want to use it as a DI, you can put it in stomp box mode and just bypass it and use it as a DI like that, and it works just fine. Now, one other thing that I really don't like about this is the placement of the USB-C on bottom, but I guess there's really probably no good place for it, whether it's on top or the side. I prefer it on top, but I guess depending on where you want to put this thing on your pedal board, or if you plan on plugging in the USB-C, you just got to think ahead and you're going to have to do some proper planning. That's going to wrap it up. I'll be doing a video soon comparing the Tonex 1 to the Line 6 Pod Express Black, so stay tuned for that and subscribe if you haven't already. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. Thanks a lot. We'll see you next time.